What's going on, y'all? It's your boy at Barbershop Scott here with another training camp recap, man. We've got the second joint practice in the books between the Bears and the Buffalo Bills. MVP Josh Allen was here. I think what we saw from Josh Allen today, we saw that interceptions don't matter when you're an elite quarterback, which of course they shouldn't. But Jaquan Brisker had a good game. I mean, good practice. Kevin Byard got a pick off Josh Allen, but Josh Allen still looked like Josh Allen. But the point of this is what I'm trying to say is on the other side, we saw Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams, I thought he had a pretty decent day, I think is the best way to describe it. It was way better than last week's practice against the Miami Dolphins. Still got to work on some things in the red zone. Red zone, they did 3 red zone periods. First one did not look good. Second one was much better through 2 touchdowns. Roma Dunze. By the way, I am not a gambling man, but if I was, I would put good money on 1,000 yards receiving for Mr. Roma Dunze. He looked good today as well. You can see the connection between him and Caleb growing each practice, and especially him and OZ, Alameda Zacchaeus. He has been balling just as well as them today. So, man, but, third period didn't look as clean for Caleb in the offense, so they're going to have to really work on that. That's something I think that we're going to see Sunday. Now, we don't know how long the starters will play on Sunday. Ben Johnson said in his pre-practice press conference that will be determined by today's practice. Of course, we're not going to know, at least not right now. In my opinion, I would pay him the whole second half because I think as good as some of the stuff we saw today, still need to be worked. But overall, solid day for the offense with Caleb Williams. I would give it B-, I think. I really like the way Caleb responded, though, because there was some stuff where Caleb was a little rocky. But after the first bad red zone period, he really, really came back and made some good passes. So I liked what I saw. This, like I said on Twitter the other day, steady practice, steady progress that we've been seeing from him, man. Let's talk about this offensive line because there's a lot more trouble with the offensive line than I think the Bears would have wanted at this point, and also that I think that Bears fans would want at this point. Let's talk about the left tackle battle, which is now not a 2-man race, not a 3-man race, but a 4-man race. And Ben Johnson talked about that earlier. So let's see what Ben had to say about the race.
Hopefully some clarity. That's what we're looking for. This thing's going on now 3.5 weeks. And, I said, and I'll say it again, we'll go as long as we need to go to find the right guy. But we'd like to see someone go ahead and make it clear to us that he is that guy. And we just haven't seen that yet as a staff. There's been too much up and down. And so, today's practice will be a huge thing, and so will Sunday's game in terms of getting some clarity there on that. We'd love to go ahead and solidify that spot and move forward from there. And it might be one of those things where when we make that decision, it's not final for the season. It could be we have to reassess after a couple of weeks of the season, or by the bye week we might have to reassess. So it might be something that goes on. Wouldn't be ideal, but that's the name of the league. So
yeah, this is Braxton Jones did not have a good day. Sometimes I forget Kyron Namagaji's out there. Theo Benedict got a lot of the snaps today. Didn't really like it either. To me, that's something that you could tell from Ben Johnson's comments. This is going to go something that's going to go down to the wire. And he had a huge emphasis on wanting to have a nice 5 offensive line and stick with that 5. But unless it gets a little more consistent at the left tackle position, I don't see that being an option. I think this is going to be back and forth for a while, so that's something I will keep my eye on as well. Overall, good practice, though. I think it was a battle out there. We had some squabbles like we had last week. But overall, I think it was a solid day for the Bears, and I think this is good to lead into that training camp practice. Into preseason. Now, y'all know how I feel about preseason, but I feel that if they weren't playing on Sunday, I will feel a lot worse than I do right now because you just can't go into the next week. Even though it was a decent performance, they need to work more. So I'm really interested to see how much the starters are going to play on Sunday and how efficient that's going to look, man. So besides that, a really good day at camp. It was hot out there as well, but this was the last practice for fans. And then last week will be the last full week of camp as well. They got 3 days on there. So this will be my second to last report. I will be here next Wednesday, and then after that, I will not be there. So, but anyway, it's your boy at Barbershop Scott, and here's your training camp report.